Around the year 1800, the Ottoman Empire still looked, on paper, like one of the great powers of the world. Its territory stretched across Southeast Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. It controlled key trade routes and holy cities, and it had a long history of military success. But behind this impressive image, the empire was struggling to function like a true great power in the age of modern warfare and centralized states. One of the most important reasons was internal weakness in governance. The Ottoman system had once been highly efficient, especially under strong rulers like Suleiman the Magnificent. But by the late 18th century, the central government had lost much of its control over distant provinces. Local governors, known as ayans, were becoming increasingly independent. Instead of acting as loyal administrators, many behaved like regional rulers, collecting taxes for themselves and maintaining private armies. This decentralization made it extremely difficult for the empire to coordinate large-scale military or political actions. At the same time, the Ottoman military system had fallen behind its European rivals. The once feared janissaries and elite infantry corps had become resistant to change. They opposed modernization efforts and protected their own privileges rather than adapting to new battlefield realities. While European armies were adopting new tactics, discipline, and technologies inspired by the French Revolution, the Ottomans struggled to reform their forces. Attempts by reformists to create modern armies were often blocked or even violently resisted. Economic problems also played a major role. The empire's financial system was outdated and inefficient. It relied heavily on tax farming, where private individuals collected taxes in exchange for a fee. This system encouraged corruption and reduced the state's actual income. Meanwhile, global trade patterns were shifting. European powers were increasingly dominating sea routes and international commerce, reducing the Ottomans' economic importance. The empire simply did not have the financial strength to sustain prolonged wars or invest in modernization on the same scale as its rivals. Another critical factor was diplomatic isolation and strategic pressure. By 1800, Europe was dominated by powerful, competitive states like France, Britain, and Russia. These countries had more advanced bureaucracies, stronger economies, and better organized militaries. The Ottomans, in contrast, were often reacting rather than shaping events. For example, during the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, the empire found itself on the defensive, struggling to respond effectively to foreign invasions such as the French campaign in Egypt. Communication and infrastructure were also major limitations. The empire's vast size, once an advantage, became a burden. Poor roads, slow communication, and difficult geography made it hard to mobilize troops quickly or enforce decisions from the capital. In contrast, European states were improving their internal networks, allowing for faster coordination and more effective governance. Finally, there was a deeper structural issue. The Ottoman Empire had been built for a different era. Its institutions were designed for a world of land-based empires and relatively slow technological change. By 1800, however, the world was entering a new phase of industrialization, nationalism, and global competition. The Ottomans were not completely stagnant, but their reforms were too slow and too contested to keep pace with the rapid transformations happening in Europe. In reality, the empire's inability to act like a great power was not due to a single failure, but to a combination of political fragmentation, military stagnation, economic weakness, and external pressure. These challenges did not immediately destroy the Ottoman state, but they gradually reduced its ability to project power and influence events beyond its borders. By the early 19th century, the Ottoman Empire was no longer setting the terms of international politics. Instead, it was struggling to survive in a world that was changing faster than it could adapt. If you enjoyed this video, then like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel.